Well, my friends, I'm back. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, and I'm back with stitch tutorial number 11. I just felt I wanted to just stay busy. The weather's changing. We didn't have a winter, so what can I say? We didn't get into that bad storm, and now everything is very quiet. You kind of you don't want to really say too much because sometimes, March comes in like a lion. So we'll just wait and see. But right now, it is as nice and pretty and soft as a lamb. I hope you're doing well. And I'm glad that you've joined me for this. My stitch tutorial is just something I wanted to kind of separate when I want to isolate stitches or do something special. And so today, even though we're not going to actually do the stitch, this is more like a teaser. I wanted to show you what we're going to do, but I'm going to do something, just add something a little different. Because, I've introduced reading or working or knitting from charts because there are a lot of knitters like me didn't have a chance to go to knit shops and things. And there's a lot of, you can go to YouTube and other things, but sometimes it's not as clear as maybe you need it to be. And so I'm just trying to share with you, a visual learner, how to take it, look at it, understand it, take it from stitch books or stitches in public domain, and make them your own. So today on stitch tutorial number 11, I'm calling it Let's Chart a New Course. Let's chart a new course. And of course, that we're going to chart. So, first of all, let me tell you about the stitch. Now I'm going to hold this up because this is a pretty stitch. Every knitter of any skill has knit this stitch. You'll find it in lots of stitch books. It's the most common name is arrowhead lace. See, because it looks like arrows. If you look like the head of an arrow, can you see that? Look at it real good. I'll pass it before the camera with the background so you can see it. Okay, so it's a beautiful stitch, and it looks real complicated, but it's not. It's very easy, and of course there's different variations. Every designer has their own variation and everything, and I've done it several times, and you just find it in a lot of just random charts or random stitches or stitch books. The one I'm going to use today I try to keep it very simple. There's only 10 rows, and of course 5 of them are pattern rows. The other 2 rows are the wrong side rows. You just purl. So that should be even easier and a lot of fun. But we're not going to actually do the stitch today like I normally do, row by row. Instead, what I'm going to show you is how to move this over here. Now let's see if I'm on camera. Nope, let me take it out of the package. I forget that these little protectors, I keep everything in a protector. Now, I don't expect you to really see this. It will be on my information sheet, when it comes on, but I'm just going to kind of go over and show you what's on here. Now, I know, am I doing an okay job? Okay, so now that I've introduced some of you to charts, knitting from charts, and how to read them and how to look at them and the symbols. Okay, so sometimes, now once you get an idea, you notice that, Jay, I think I can knit a little faster from a chart. Well, now, don't go overboard, because there's some charts we're going to be running from. I'm going to keep them simple and easy for the ones that I can share. And eventually someone else can pick up the mantle and get into really, the heavy lace or the cable charts, something, I can do simple ones, but this is a fun way still. I still enjoy it, and like I said, I believe you can knit a little faster from charts once you understand the symbols and recognize them right away. You have to check every chart, every stitch book to see what each book or each designer or author, it may be under. They may call it abbreviations, they may call it the legends, or they may call it the key. But that simply tells you what she is using in her particular pattern or stitch book, what the symbols represent. Okay, they are usually universal, or there's a wide, scope of stitches or abbreviations that most people use. But sometimes they just maybe they just need to make something a little different or change it so that it fits their particular stitch or what they're designing. Does that make sense? Okay, I don't mean to be going on, but these are things that you just need to know. Like I told my friend, you have to decide to get involved. If you want to knit, you have to learn the language of knitting. It is all together, and then there's different knitting components that even they're different, when you get into lace and cables and different things. But, like I said, it's all a part of the package. So, this stitch, the arrowhead lace, let me stop waffling. It's a very easy stitch. Like I said, it looks really hard, doesn't it? But it's so easy. You're going to be like, Jay, I can't believe I did this. Okay. It's a multiple of 8 stitches plus 1. For every repeat, there's 8 stitches, and then we always say at the end of the count, you add a plus 1. All right. Or whatever they tell you the plus is. Now you can work this little sample that I have written up here on this paper in any size weight yarn, like number 3 or number 4, I'm going to be using Karen Simply Soft. So it's rated a number 4, but if I use a number 8 needle, it kind of drops down to a number 3 for me. It seems like it's a number 3. So that you can just reach into your stash. We're stash busting. We're designing. We're learning. All right, so I went ahead and made up a couple of little working formulas for some, instead of just making a swatch, you can make a scarf. One, I just simply did however many repeats, and then I added 3 stitch borders on each side. So one you cast on 31 stitches, or another one a little larger, you can cast on 38 stitches. The smaller the yarn, the more stitches you need to cast on so that you can see the pattern. If you get a little small number 3 yarn, you've got to have a few more repeats, 4 or 5 repeats, so that the pattern will show up. And then, after you cast on, you will just knit 2 rows. And that way, we will be ready to start on row 1. So now, that's just how that we will knit. But let me show you this. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, so I'm giving you, my information sheet that has the written row by row of this arrowhead lace stitch, one that I use a lot, and I just reached in some of my old packages and found it. All right, so you say, well, Jay, how can I take this and add this right here, and this is just a nice blow up of a sheet of graph paper. I thought you could get them in larger sizes, but you can't. So, tip, take a couple pieces of graph paper to your local carpenter or UPS store, and voila. Just have them blow it up 100 and like 40% extra. 30%. Try different ones to see. It just helps you to see and work see the chart and work it better. All right, so there it is. I thought, okay, there's got to be a will, there's a way. So I want to, today, instead of working the stitch, because I have a surprise about the stitch, we're going to take row by row, and I'm going to show you how to simply take this, and we're going to chart this row 1 here, then the next row, then the next, all the way up to the top. Okay, and then that will turn this chart into one that looks like this. Does that make sense? You see, I've already done it with a marker there. But can you see that? And it's a lot of fun. Just like reading an Agatha Christie, Monsieur Poirot, on the job. Oh, just call me Miss Lemon. All right, so now what we need, let me show you some things you're going to need. You can have some markers. You don't have to have anything fancy. I just use some markers, black or whatever, your choice, whatever color. A highlighter, a marker, something to outline. I use black. Highlighters. The highlighter will show you where the actual repeat of the pattern is. The black marker here, the black lines, shows you the actual how many repeats and the plus squares do I need to grid this arrowhead lace. For this version, it's 8 stitches. Each square represents 1 stitch, and then add a +1. Now, the only thing that could throw you, but we have the written pattern, is does the +1 come at the beginning or does it come at the end or something like that? That you have to know. So for me, all I did was look at the written row by row. Row 1, the right side, and it's down here. In the charts, we start at the bottom and work up. In the paper, we start at the top and work down. All right, so row 1, it says knit 1. Then it gives you the repeat. So I know the knit 1 will be here. It will start out with the plus. Then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, with the +1, it's 9. Okay, does that make sense? For the first, for the first repeat. Now you're going to highlight all the repeat areas. That way your eye will know where to come back to every time you need to repeat. Just an easy way that I found to help myself. Does that make sense? All right, and then I suggest having a pencil to mark as we do each row, to mark it in pencil. Then you can come back and remark it in a heavier marker, so that you don't have, make a lot of mistakes, because you can erase, maybe if you get something wrong or one stitch over, you can erase it and then come back and change it. So those are just the things, all we need to get started. All right, let me get things kind of clear and get situated here, and we will get started on, let's see, making a new course. All right, back in just a minute. All right, so I've laid my paper down. I think I can work with it better that way. And I hope it's straight enough. I'm doing, it's so strange looking in the camera. I'm going to read, and then I'm going to transfer what I read row by row to my grid, to my chart. And you can, for your own information, if you can make your own little key up here and put in the symbols and what they mean as I call them out for later reference. That's just something you can do. Everybody likes to learn and remember different. But of course, you're going to get this sheet that you can look at too. All right, so I'm going to start, and we're going to restart. I've already outlined everything, and I have my highlight. We're going to start on row 1. On the chart, row 1 starts at the bottom and works up. Now, if you notice, I only mark the rows, the right side rows, because the pattern tells us that each wrong side row, starting from this direction across this way, we're just going to purl. So we don't want to waste time doing that. So I've marked down where each right side row, row 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And of course, you have to end with row 10. You'd purl back for row 10. Does that make sense? All right. So now, we are reading row 1 of the arrowhead lace pattern, and this is the right side. Okay, it says knit 1. So knit 1 is right here. That is the first empty block. You don't have to fill it in. An empty block represents a knit 1 on the right side. We're not even going to talk about the wrong side. It's just purl on this one. This is not something you're going to just jump up and start doing. This is like if it's something simple, maybe you're traveling, maybe you're going somewhere, and it's a lot easier just to chart something or take the chart with you or whatever. This is just learning. We are not going to be charting stuff out, no. But I wanted you to see how easy, how it works. Some things it's better to just leave as is. Row 1 says knit 1. Well, there's a knit 1 right there. Now, the next stitch, it says, is a SSK, slip, slip, knit. And the symbol for a slip, slip, knit is a line that leans to the left. See? It's just a mark. So I'm going to take my pencil and mark in that one. I need to know where that is. I know that's a knit stitch because it's an empty block. All right, the next stitch after slip, slip, knit is a knit 1. Well, I can leave that blank. Now, if that's going to bother you and you can't, like, okay, Jay, well, just put yourself a little check mark just so you'll know that you touched that one. All right, so I know that's a knit 1. Okay, the next stitch is a yarn over. Well, we use a circle for yarn over, just like that. Then there's the next stitch is a knit 1. I'm just going to put a little check mark just so that I'll know that I touched it, that I read it. The next stitch is a yarn over. With me? Then we have another knit stitch. It's blank, but if you need to put a little pencil dot or a little tiny check, just so you say, okay, now I know. Okay. Then we have after that last knit 1, then we have knit 2 stitches together. Knit 2 stitches together is a decrease that leans to the right. It leans this direction, or to slant it this direction. SSK slants to the left, knit 2 together slants to the right. So I want to put a mark that slants like that. So now I can read knit 1, slip, slip, knit. Knit 1, yarn over. Knit 1, yarn over. Knit 1, knit 2 together, and I end this particular one repeat with knit 1. Now if I need to repeat it, I take my eye back up to only the yellow portion where it's highlighted here. And I start again with slip, slip, knit. Knit 1, yarn over. Knit 1, yarn over. Knit 1, knit 2 stitches together, and end with a knit 1. And if I want to repeat again, I come back up. Does that make sense? It's fun. Look, keep calm, and we're going to knit on. I just wanted to share this with you because some people like stuff like this. Most people don't. Most people want to just be led. But there's a lot of people like, no, Jay, I want to do it. I may not do it right, or I may not learn, but just show me. And we probably won't do this again. I'm just sharing with you. All right, then now, of course, row 2, the wrong side, which is the number would be on this side if we had to do something, but it just purls back after you finish all the repeats. Now we're up to row 3. All right, row 3 says, again, knit 1. Well, here's the knit 1 that starts right here. That's not part of the repeat. It says knit 1. So there it is. That first block is empty. If you need to touch it or put a little thing, just so that you're saying, okay, I knit 1. Okay, then the next thing again, it's really a repeat of row 1, but we're going to write it out again. It says slip, slip, knit. So I'm going to put another slanted line to the left. Can you see it? That's a decrease. Then it says, all right, move to the next block. Oops, I went over 1, 2. See, this is why you need an eraser. Okay, let me erase it back. I need to be in this block. Slip, slip. It's okay, people, to make a mistake on camera. Let's start again. Row 3, knit 1. There it is right there. There's the first one, knit 1. Now the slip, slip, knit goes right here. There we go. See, right there. Then the next stitch is knit 1. So you can touch it or put a little mark. If that empty box is like, oh, Jay, that empty box is driving me crazy. All right, then we have a yarn over. It's exactly like this row underneath. Then I knit one, put a little mark or a little pencil dot if you need that. Then a yarn over, then another little knit one. Then we need a knit two together, which is a right leaning decrease. I'm going to put it right above that one. And this will end with a knit one. So really row 1 and row 3 are the same. So let's just see. Let's read it together. Knit 1, right here, you have to start right here, I'm sorry. Knit 1, then slip, slip, knit, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, knit 2 stitches together, and knit 1. Oh, okay. Hello. All right, let's move up. It's only a couple more rows. We'll be done. Look, hold your nose. Remember how they used to give us the medicine in orange juice? Okay, hold your nose. Drink the orange juice. All right, row 5. Here we go. It starts out with a knit 1. See, these are the stitches that are not included in the repeat. So they're just stuck over here, but you need to make them part of this whole chart we're working. See, so I know right here. All right, here we go. Knit 1. I'm going to just touch it, put a little pencil mark just so I know I did it. Then here the next thing is yarn over. Then there is a slip, slip, knit. So I want it to lean to the left, so I'm going that direction. Then I'm going to knit 3. So 1, 2, 3. I need 3 empty boxes of squares. 1, 2, 3. Then I have a knit 2 stitches together. That leans to the right, so I'm going to put it a line that direction. Then I yarn over, a circle, and I end the row with a knit 1. And it's right there. Now if I want to repeat this and come back up, I only have to come up to the yellow, and I start with this is row 5, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 1. Look how you're smart already. Then you were 20 minutes ago. Then we purl back for row 6. All right, hold on. And I'm not rushing. I'm just taking my time to show you. But it's better to do it in a pencil and have your eraser. Okay, we're just having fun. Did cost me but 10 cents to get this blown up. So I had a whole bunch blown up so I can have it on hand next time. So now on row 7. All right, row 7 says it starts again. And you can see, check it on the paper printout. My stitch printout, it says knit 1. Well, there it is right there. That's the very first one, knit 1. I put a little pencil dot just so I remember. Then there is a yarn over. So I put a 0. Then a slip, slip, knit. That leans to the left. You see the line going that direction. Let's see. Nope. Oh, I think I missed one, so let's just rub that out. I'm trying to look at 2 or 3 places. I'm trying to do this and look at my pattern too. Okay, so let's go back. And it didn't come out real good, so erase it real good so you don't get confused. We're just practicing, people. Nobody's gone. All right, row 7. Let's go again. It says knit 1. Well, there's the first knit 1 right there in this box. Then it starts again. That's what threw me. Then there's a knit 1. So right here is a knit 1. So that you can't say knit 2. I know what you're going to think. Well, Jay, why didn't you just say knit 2? Well, because this knit 1 is part of the repeat. So if they said knit 2, you would think knit 2 is part of the repeat, but it's not. So they have to separate it. So here's knit 1 on row 7. Then here's the repeat part. Knit 1, then the yarn over goes here. This one was just knit 1, then yarn over. Now the slip, slip, knit, that's leaning to the left. And then here is the reason I called it, because this is my center. So sometimes you can put a little arrow of the center of the chart so that you can say, okay, I made it to the center. All right, so there's a slip, slip, knit. Then the next stitch is a knit 1. So it's just an empty square as far as we're concerned. All right, on the chart. Then the next stitch is a knit 2 together, so that's a right leaning decrease, goes that direction. Then a yarn over, and then knit 2, 1, 2. You end it with a 1, 2. Now let's read it. I'm going to read it right from my own chart here. Knit 1. Then I knit 1 again, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, knit 1, that's the center of this chart right there, knit 1. Then knit 2 stitches together, yarn over, and end this row with a knit 1, 2. If they put knit 2 to start with, like I said, you would think that's part of the repeat, and you'd come back up and you'd be wrong. Okay, now, we're having fun. Let me hear somebody smile. Let me see your smile. Okay, purl back, and we're to the last row. This is fun. This is the last one. All right, row 9. Let's look at it. This time I'll be more careful. It says knit 1. All of them started with a knit 1. Remember that +1 showed you where it starts, but it's not part of the repeat. So it started with a knit 1. Then now look on for row 9. Then it says knit 2. So 1, 2. Does that make sense? Then there is a yarn over. So I put a 0 there. And then the first new stitch, or first symbol, they have a symbol that has a line. It says, I'll read it on the paper. It says slip 1, knit 2 stitches together. Now that can be abbreviated, I don't know how many ways, all kind of ways. Some people put the S and a 1, and then knit 2 together, and then PASSO, you know, they spell out the whole thing. This one just simply says, I just use S, because I know that's slip, and then knit 2 together -P. But the symbol for it is, I know it's going to be strange. All right, there's going to be a, in fact, I thought I'd show you something a little different, but I can't. All right, so you have a line, and then you have 2 little lines underneath. It looks like a seesaw. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like a seesaw. So I'm going to put that here and put my little seesaw. That's slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass a slip stitch over. All that in that little symbol. Then there's a yarn over, and guess what? We end the row by knitting 1, 2, 3. So let's read it. Knit 1, okay, then knit 2, 1, 2. Yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over, yarn over, and knit 1, 2, 3. Row 10, we purl back. Hallelujah! Row 10, I'm like, oh my God, Jay, what have you got yourself into? I still think it's fun. And it's just something to take it from the paper to a pencil, and then once you have checked it and double checked it, then you take it to your marker. Just like that. Does that make sense? All right. I got some other things to tell you, so just take a look, just take a moment. I'm just going to let the camera look at that just for a moment so that it's on camera, and then I'll come right back. We finished it. Back in just a moment. All right, so I wanted to come back and just give you another glimpse or look at the piece to let you know what we're going to do. This was just Jay's stitch tutorial and just some FYI fun information. I hope it was fun. I hope it was interesting and entertaining. And but some people like to, know the intricate works of things. On the sheet, I have given you, like I said, some working formulas. If you like, okay, well, Jay, I'll wait for you to get the next project, which we're going to use the stitch in. But if you want to start a scarf, I gave you 2 working formulas that you could easily just go ahead and cast on and start working row by row. If you don't feel like charting, then you have line by line, just as I normally do. Have it. I just didn't work it. All right, so, but the next episode should be episode, I guess, 160, will be, I'm trying to work asymmetrical shawl with this stitch. So I've got my stitch ready, and I'm going to continue to work. So that will be the next thing. We're actually going to use this stitch, and I'm going to work from the chart, but you can work from your line by line, and we're going to knit a shawl. What do you think of that? I just wanted to give you a little teaser, encourage you, some FYI fun information, and show you just from the beginning to, the sky's the limit. So, I hope you're going to join me. Like I said, look at this one over and over. Give it a try. It's just fun. Like I said, we're not going to be charting things. That's a lot of work, people. But it's good sometimes to know how to do simple ones just for your own convenience. And I wanted you to know how simple it is to just take it row by row and stitch by stitch. So now this is Jay, and the next project on my needles, which is this, you can see it on the needles, I'm working this into an asymmetrical shawl. And I think it's just in time. First, I had worked it in a heavier weight yarn because I thought, well, it's still kind of winter, but no, people, spring is on its way. Spring. So I had to go and change. I went and changed, and thank goodness I had some of this Karen Simply Soft, and I just stuck it on a number 8 needle. So I will be back as soon as I'm finished, but in the meanwhile, you can knit a scarf. You can work up this stitch in a scarf just to practice it, just to see how much fun it is. And I will see you back soon with, I don't have a name for it yet, but it will be a beautiful shawl, and I'm going to try the asymmetrical style. I haven't done one of those in a long time, long time. All right, this is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, and thank you so much, and I hope you give it a try, and have fun. Happy knitting to all my friends everywhere. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.